and welcome to Through Africa. We are joining you live from our studios again from Ankara, Turkey. It is still me, your host, Messi Barangwela. Today we'll be discussing a few topics ravaging the continent, and we'll start by talking about the contemporary art and its relation to national and international development. We'll speak with Mr. Olatunbosun Ayodeji, all the way from Nigeria, who is a textile artist. He'll speak to us about what he does and what he thinks about contemporary art and the relation to the development of the continent. Hello, Mr. Ayodeji.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us more about yourself and the type of art that you produce?
My name is, thank you, Messi. My name is Ayodeji Olatunbosun Oluwaseun. I'm a textile artist from Nigeria. I'm the CEO of Expressional Afro Designs, where we primarily explore indigenous African motifs with contemporary blend. We make art in a spirit form, especially with textile and pigment, which we refer to as painting, as a medium of expression. Our art majorly serves a therapeutic function, and it serves as a medium of communication and expression, both individually and at the world as a whole. Thank you.
Okay. So, you mentioned representative form. Mainly, in what sense does your art represent the African continent?
In the use, my work represents African continent in a spirit form. Now, with the use of motifs, because African textile, African art is a bedrock of global civilization. And just like a culture, the culture means a shared belief. And art is an embodiment of culture, is an expression of culture, is an offshoot of culture. Now, I personally explore African motifs. Now, what we call motifs is a unit of design, and that is the heart of the people. That's an heritage. It is the people and the faith, an emblem and expression and exploration. Now, my heart talks about the use of African motifs to drive home the point as a sequel, as a metaphor, all right, as a metaphor for expression. Now, all across the African continent, each African country and culture and race has their motifs, which is used which actually summarizes the people. The Yoruba, the Hausas, from Ghana, from Congo, from Cameroon, from all over, they have the motifs, which actually means one or two things or the other. Now, what my work centers on is exploring the motifs as a metaphor for the expression. And that is why all across the African continent and the world as a whole, the motifs used in our works as a unit of design connote the cultural values and heritages of the people.
Thank you for that. All right, you spoke about how the motifs represent the people. Now I want to ask, we know that in national development, especially in a country that practices democracy like Nigeria, we put power in the hands of our leaders. So specifically, how does your art reflect the current political and social situation of the African continent?
Oh, thank you, Messi. Now, art as a whole is the opium of the people. And that is why one of the core function of art is to sensitize the people. Now, in Nigeria, for example, my heart, through the drawings, through the lines, because one of the forms which I explore is calligraphic lines. Calligraphy line, which means the heart of artistic writing, and not like a performing art, but as a writer. Now, this actually conveys the power of the people, because art is used to sensitize, art is used to direct, art is used to awaken the consciousness of the people through the images, through the lines, through the form, through the motifs, through the explanation, through the history. Now, for example, in Nigeria that we are in, some of the issues we're facing presently, has to do with fuel issues, economic instability and stuff like that. And my heart, in some of the works are painted, and some of the works on motif as a dress, because art is used as a reminder that, come on, these are the things that is happening, and not only to we that were in a particular country, but to project it to the world at large. Now, the art I make are essentially some of the ones that I've done recently, because art evolves as event is happening. Art is used to document, and what is one of the things that our heart is, used. My heart personally is used to talk about for historical purpose and for futuristic things. Now, some of the heart tells the people where we are coming from, is an history. We have the past. Now we are in the present. Then art is used to project the future through the drawings, through the lines, through the philosophical expression by the lines, through the use of pigment, colors, to depict where we are coming from, and at the same time to project into the future. So in Nigeria as of today, my heart is used to document the faces of the situation, not only in the economic world, but even the futuristic world. Because I made a painting with fabrics of recent that gives people hope. It's called an applique. It's called the colors of Africa. Is to give hope to the people that it doesn't matter what you are going through. There is hardship. There is so many things in the land, and it's just to give hope, because colors, the intensity of colors is also a medium of expression, is a medium of communication. That it doesn't matter how dark today is, understand that tomorrow is going to be good. So my works talk about it perform a satiric form, at the same time a therapeutic form.
Oh, great. So you talked about your work being therapeutic and also being engaging. Now, how in creating this art, how do you incorporate traditional techniques into your creation? I mean, you talked about how your art actually interprets what comes from the past to the present and then the future. So how does your art actually represent the traditional techniques while not losing tradition? How do you incorporate that into contemporary art?
Okay, thank you, Mercy. There is no way we will understand the future without a good. There's no way we can predict the future without a good understanding of the past in the present. Now, in traditional textile, for example, in Abeokuta, where I am, there is a particular textile we call Alarodudu. Now, that is the earliest form of textile. Probably is referred to as Adireleko because of how it's made, and the time. And now we're talking about 1880, 19th, 16th, 17th centuries ago. Now, at the root of that art I know I wasn't born then, but at the root of those art were thoughts, were ideas, were philosophies, you know, were
Oh,
philosophies, were concepts. Now, without this, in the present time, the kind of materials used then has changed. The types of motifs used then has changed. Now, in one of the works I brought to Ankara, now, at the roots, one of those works that was made about 80 years ago forms a, part of the works that were exhibited. That is just to talk about the historic development and the pattern development. Now, what I do clearly is to explore the indigenous motifs now with contemporary effect. Now, as a result of technology, in materials, in orientation, in exposition, it has a direct positive effect. And we have tried as much to explore, to develop them, as civilization, as age is coming up, that there are advancements in the use and in the understanding of motif, because some of the motifs are used, not only on textile, on the walls, on designs, on the shed, on throw pillows, on our potteries, on all everything that is used. All these motifs are used, but majority of the people does not even understand what they mean or how they come to be or what they signify. Because there are motifs that signify strength. There are some that talks about sensitivity, that, and in another way, with a proverbial expression which is used as an educative in the education system, in the education side, to tell the people, to tell a story, to tell people how to behave. All these are embedded in design. So personally, I use all those motifs as a springboard. Yeah.
so we're talking about how you incorporate traditional techniques into your creations.
Thank you.
Can you give us a little bit more about that?
Well, it's about an advancement and in textile is an innovation and advancement on textile. Now, there is no way you can understand the present without a good understanding of the past, and which will help us in projecting the future. Uh, Now, the indigenous art, and the motifs, because textile means writing, text. The word text, coming from the word text, which means write and on fabric. Because African textile is not just for covering the body, is a medium of expression and communication. And that is why you will see on all the textiles, you will see the motifs. For example, what I'm wearing as an example is an indigenous motif, which means Oya. In Yoruba, it is called Oya. In English, it is called a comb. A comb. And a comb, as it is, it means a paver of wind. Now, it's an indigenous motif, but now incorporated into contemporary with the use of pigment, with the use of colors, with the use of line, to drive home, excuse me, to drive home the point. So I have used both the motifs, the pigment, the expression, philosophically to drive home the point, to meet up with the contemporary standard. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So you were recently in Turkey. Do you feel that African artists are adequately represented in the global art market? Or is there a struggle for visibility?
Well, thank you, Mercy. This is a very good question. Well, African artists is represented, but we need to do more. Now, I was in Turkey a few weeks ago, and I linked about 14 of us from Africa, from different disciplines. uh, well, artists, the performing artist, the sculptor, the painter, the textile designer. And without an ounce of doubt, African art is now gaining more visibility across the world. Now, all across the world now, in each of the continent and country, you will see an exhibition of African art. In sometimes the artist is there, sometimes the artist is not there. And very soon there's going to be an exhibition of pure metal works, of African metal works in Baku, in Azerbaijan, by Oluwaseun. And this is actually is encouraging more artists to, to, to explore. And I just want to, though there are struggles in some part, because getting access to these countries to showcase your work, your creativity is not that easy. It's not easy, because the economic power, but to a larger extent, I can say African art is gaining popularity by the world, in the Western world and the world at large, because now people in the textile, for example, as a textile designer, uh, everybody wants to wear African fabrics. Everybody I want to wear African textile, not just because of the aesthetics, but because of the artistic value, because of the artistic expression. People want to wear what they understand. Okay, let me put it that way. They want to wear what they understand. They want to know why I'm wearing this. And also, you discover that as a result of the slave trade, that has made some people to scatter across the world, many people are finding their roots now in Africa, in African. And the only asset that could point the root is through the art. You know what you are familiar with. You can see even in the world of architecture, in textile, in sculpture, in ceramics, in photography. And this is aided by, the advancement in technology. So African art is gaining more popularity, though there is still need for us to, do more, because so many artists want to explore, but, we need more opportunities. Okay, let me put it that way. You need the opportunity to project our African art to the world. We were in Turkey a few weeks ago, and I can say the embracement, the way the people receive, the way the people celebrate, the way the people respond to the art, because especially during the workshop, the dance alone actually made us understand that African art has has a larger scope, to cover. You see, there were people dancing, and African art it doesn't segregate. African art embrace everyone. So you see somebody dancing, and the joy, they spread the joy. The painting resonate. See an afro here. People want to learn more, and knowledge. African art spread the knowledge. So I want to say African art is getting more popularity, but we need to, we need more opportunities to be able to explore, for more artists to be able to explore and, exchange their art. I was in Turkey. I learned some of the Turkish language. Don't forget that even language is part of culture, and culture is an art. I learned so many languages, so many times, in Turkey, which I love so much, and I'll pass it down to even my staff and everybody here in Nigeria. I say, okay, Melama. They say, okay, what is this? Evet, Guzel in Salah, Mukemel. Oh, Evet, Tamar. As small as it is, it's a cultural exchange, and that goes a very long way. Thank you.
All right, there. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayodeji. The African art needs to be shown forth more. Yes. We need to put ourselves out there more. Thank you for that word. We'll just show a very short clip of Mr. Ayodeji's work. It will be on the screen. You can watch that. Thank you very much again, Mr. Ayodeji, for granting your time and your knowledge with us.
Thank you, Mercy. Thank you.
And those who determines who check and balances the king they could be likened to the current day, the senators or the House of Representatives. They're actually made up of 7 members, and that is why in this fabrics we make use of 7 fabrics, which are more traditional. We have the alagba, we have the halagba here, it comes in different colors. We have the alari, which is the actual that was used then. We have the sonyo here, and that is the one of the foremost kind of fabrics used then. We also have the adire, and this is adriala kete. Adriala kete. We make use of different. All right. My name is Olatunbosun. Ayodeji Oluwaseun. The work is good, but you are happy, seeing a beautiful work of art. Pam, pam, pam. All right, it's a beautiful and a wonderful Friday evening in the city of Abeokuta. Taking an explorative shoot for Ankara 2024, and the people, everybody's happy, exploring the wonders of indigenous African fabrics. Thank you, Besegusu, for this opportunity. Thank you. The people are happy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayodeji.
Thank you very much,
We
Mercy.
hope to see more of you on the channel.
Thank you, NTR TV. Thank you, Betul. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
With that, we have come to the end of today's program, and we are grateful for you for watching. Do not forget to send us your questions and suggestions to our WhatsApp number, which is always on the screen. Also send us a message if you would like to be a guest on the show. It is still me, your host, Mercy Bamgola, and this is Through Africa. Stay safe and goodbye.